A sturdy armless chair, and I'll offer you some opportunities to sit. You can sit the whole time. You can certainly stand with me when I offer you those standing options. So today's challenge towards a healthier you, small steps towards a healthier you, is to focus on your breathing and relax. So we'll do that today as part of our chair yoga practice. Chair yoga is a wonderful way to bring the floor up to you and enjoy the benefits of yoga. So we'll be relaxed in the chair, feeling the chair supporting you, but still sitting tall, lengthening your spine. Those shoulders are over those hips, and relaxing the hands on your lap, lowering your gaze towards your knees, or even closing your eyes and bringing your awareness to your breathing. Just noticing what happens as you inhale and as you exhale. Feel that chest rise as you breathe in that life-giving fresh air. And then just notice that chest falling as you release that stale air. Again, we're just enjoying some normal breathing at the moment, relaxing, just focusing on that life-giving air as we inhale, and notice the chest rise. And then just exhaling that stale air. Imagining that you're inhaling fresh, life-giving air and exhaling your cares, worries, and anxieties. Let's deepen that breath in everyday breathing. We don't use that full lung capacity, and if you don't use it, you do lose it. So let's use that full lung capacity. So the way you know that you are doing that is your belly will inflate. That tells you you're filling your lungs with fresh air. So inhale, inflate that belly, fill those lungs with that fresh air, and then exhale, drawing the belly gently back toward the spine, releasing that stale air, releasing that stress. Inhale, inflate that belly, fill those lungs with fresh air. Exhale, draw that belly back toward the spine, emptying out that stale air. We're going to do a controlled breathing exercise. It's alternate nostril breathing. So we'll inhale on the right and exhale on the left. So we're just going to press the thumb to the left side of the left nostril, and we're going to inhale right, press the right nostril, exhale left. One more time. Press that left nostril, inhale right. Press that right nostril, exhale left. Again, when we inhale, we're letting that belly rise. That tells us we're using that full lung capacity. Let's do the same on the left. Inhaling, exhale right. Inhale left. Press that left nostril, exhale right. One more time, press the right nostril, inhale left. Press that left nostril, exhale right. Let's add some movement to our breath. So moving with your breath is a practice. Yoga is a practice. So just doing the best you can. Let's warm up those shoulders. We're circle sweeping those arms up. We're inhaling to the top of that circle. Exhaling to the bottom of that circle. Inhale, inflate that belly. Fill those lungs with that fresh air. Exhale, empty out that stale air. Let's change that arm movement. Sweeping that right arm up, we inhale, warming up the side, exhale down. Sweeping the left arm up, inhale up, and exhale down. One more time each side, maybe tipping a little across that imaginary midline, inhaling up, Exhaling down. Inhale, inflate that belly, fill those lungs with that fresh air. And exhale, that releasing that stale air. If it feels okay to you, we're going to sit forward in the chair. We are in a majestic mountain pose. We have an imaginary string drawing us up toward the ceiling, nice and tall, lengthened spine. Those shoulders rolled back and down. That chest lifted in a majestic mountain pose. Palms forward, those hands active. We're feeling the muscles in the hands and arms. We're using the muscles in the middle to help us sit tall. We're lifting that chest. Those shoulders relax back and down, so we're using those back muscles to bring the shoulders back. The knees are over the ankles. The shoulders are over the hips. Imagine that you're pulling yoga tights up here, so we've got those leg muscles at work here, engaged. So even though we're sitting still, we are engaging our muscles. We're going to add a breathing exercise here. Again, it's called a Ferris wheel breath. So we inhale to the top of the Ferris wheel, inflate that belly, fill those lungs with fresh air. Exhale to the bottom of that Ferris wheel, releasing that stale air. Inhale, inflate that belly, fill those lungs to the top of the Ferris wheel. Exhale, releasing that stale air. Let's add that arm movement. Inhale, circle, sweep those arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale to the bottom of that Ferris wheel, releasing that stale air. Inhale, circle, sweep to the top of that Ferris wheel. Exhale, releasing that stale air. Let's do the same with that sweep up. Single arm and maybe a little bend. Inhale up. Exhale down, left arm. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down, and last time, inhale up. And exhale down. We are going to step the right leg over to, this is Facebook Live. It's opposite of Zoom. Right leg over to the right, left leg to facing forward. So we're setting up, we'll do a warrior two seated, and then I'll show you warrior two standing in a few moments. Arm is parallel to the floor, looking over the fingertips of that front hand, possibly bringing the back hand parallel to the floor. We've got a straight line, and we are breathing. Relaxing the arms down, bringing the fingertips of that front hand up toward the ceiling, gazing at the inner elbow. We are in a reverse warrior pose. So these are the movements. You can continue in the chair when I offer that opportunity to stand. Let's bring the knee down towards the floor. We are in a half kneeling position, and we're going to move back, and then that arm closest to me is reaching forward. Moving back, we're stretching the front of the thigh, and then reaching forward, stretching that upper back. Let's do that 2 more times. Moving and stretching, leaning back, reaching forward 1 more time, moving back, and reaching forward. Let's come center, and we'll switch to that other side. We'll just do a little stretch here, inner thighs, and then let's do that movement, and then we'll go into those warrior poses. So I'll move my water. Good idea to stay hydrated. We're going to lean back, stretch the front of the thigh, reach forward for that stretch in the back. Back of the body. Lean back, reach forward. The front of the body can get stretched when we're seated, lengthened when we're seated. Leaning back, reaching forward 1 more time. Lean back, and reach forward. Let's come into that seated version of Warrior Two. Those right knee towards me, left knee to the side, front arm parallel to the floor, looking over those front fingertips, sitting tall, breathing, maybe adding that back arm parallel to the floor, relaxing the arms down, reverse warrior. Looking at that inner elbow. And then we're going to come center and just do a little work for the abdominal muscles before I give you that opportunity to do those standing poses. So I'll show you a few different options. Boat pose is a yoga pose. So we're doing our seated version. So our chair is our floor. We're bringing the floor up, sitting tall. Here's the first option, bringing the knee up tight in your middle and foot comes down. On the other side, bring the knee up tight in the middle. Here's another option. As you bring the knee up, you can lean back and feel those muscles in your middle tighten up. Those muscles that help with good posture. Lift the left knee and leaning back if you can. Here's another option, but in boat pose, if you were doing traditional yoga, your hands would be towards your knees. So let's lift the knee up. Maybe you can add that lean back. Feel that middle. And let's do the same on the left. So lifting the knee, maybe adding that lean back. And come up. Let's do that one more time each side. You're doing the version that works best for you. We're lifting the knee, maybe holding the chair, possibly adding that lean back, feeling that belly tighten up, those abdominal muscles. And one more time, abdominal muscles help with everyday tasks and help with balance, keeping you steady on your feet. If you would like to join me standing, just make sure that your chair is in front of you so you can work with confidence. So you'll be behind the chair and I'm just moving the chair to the side so you can see me. So if you're still seated, that's fine. That's one of the benefits to the chair is that you can remain seated the whole time. So knees and toes of that right foot are to the side. Knees and toes of that left leg are forward towards me. Feel free to hold that chair if you're standing. Let's set up warrior two. We're bringing that right arm parallel to the floor. We're bending the knee, engaging those muscles, working those muscles in the thigh, breathing, looking over those front fingertips. Let's take a break. And then here's an option. Both arms could come up, bending that front knee if you're standing as much as you can. Your weight is in the heel of that front foot. Looking over those front fingertips, feel free to hold that chair if you need to. We're breathing in that challenging warrior two pose and release, working on balance and strength. Let's bring those fingertips up toward the ceiling, gazing at that inner elbow, bending that front knee, coming into that reverse warrior with that option to drop the back arm in that true reverse warrior pose. And release. Very nice. We are going to come to the other side of the chair. So if you would, if you're standing, make sure that chair is in front of you so you can work with confidence. So we've got the right foot and knee facing forward, whether you're seated or standing, and the left foot and knee facing the side. And let's set up that warrior two arm. Left arm is parallel to the floor. Let's bend the knee, looking over the front fingertips, breathing in this warrior two pose. We're standing tall. We're using those leg muscles, those muscles in the middle to help with balance. Let's take a little break, and then maybe you're bringing both arms parallel to the floor, looking over those front fingertips if you can, bending the knee and breathing as you hold that strong warrior two pose. Relaxing those arms down, and we'll come into reverse warrior. We're bringing those fingertips up toward the ceiling, gazing at the inner elbow, and let's bend that front knee, pressing that front heel into the floor, engaging those leg muscles again. Imagine you're pulling up yoga tights and we're using those leg muscles. Option to drop that back arm down as we breathe into this wonderful reverse warrior pose. And release. We are going to do one more thing for the legs. We are going to step the feet wide. So you've got the chair in front of you. We're at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So if you are seated, you can just work on that circle sweep. standing, I'll help you get the legs moving, and then we'll add that circle sweep. So we've got some great balance here in this narrow stance, where we've got a straight line here that our feet are standing on. We're imagining we're keeping that chest lifted. We're bending those knees in that plie stance. Bending those knees. If you would like to add that upper body, we're going to bend the knees, and then we're circle sweeping those arms up toward the ceiling. So imagine that you are reaching up toward the sun, and then when you come down, gathering sunflowers. So sweeping up toward the sun and then gathering those sunflowers. One more time, we'll sweep up toward the sun and gather those sunflowers. Very nice. So we worked on some leg strength and balance here. And actually, I'll do something that you could do either standing or seated. So I'll show you tree pose. So seated, what you could do is you could lift one leg and work on seated balance. So here's some different options for tree pose. If you're standing, you could have your heels together and just turning one foot out. So most of my weight is on my right leg. Certainly holding the chair is fine. Here's an option. So we make the base of support smaller, less steady, more challenge. It can help with a balance pose to tighten up the muscles in your middle and find a non-moving spot to hold your gaze. It's called a drizdi in yoga, and people say that differently, different instructors. Another option might be to put the sole of your foot below your knee on the side of your leg. So I'm going to go to that in-between option. If you're in the chair, you're just lifting the knee here and focusing on balance. So here are some options. You could bring your hands to heart center. Maybe both hands come to heart center. Maybe you want to hold the chair as I show you this next option. Adding some tree branches, maybe coming here. Maybe you feel comfortable bringing both arms up. Maybe you need to put that foot, the other foot down, still having that narrow base of support. And how about bringing those tree branches up toward the sky? Feeling that standing leg doing a lot of work if you are standing. Most of the weight is on that right leg, if not all of the weight if you're choosing that most difficult option. Whatever is the most challenging option for you is the best choice, because you showed up for yourself this morning or today, and you need to choose what's right for you. This is your workout. Let's set up a tree pose on the other side. Most of the weight is on the left leg now. Remember, if you're seated, you're just going to lift your right leg and balance on those sit bones and on that left leg, working on balance there. We are going to put the heels together and turn the toes of that right foot out. That's your level 1. If you need a bit more challenge, coming just to the toes, resting that heel against the side of the leg, feeling more unsteadiness, so you decide, is that right for you? Maybe you're ready for an even more challenging version of tree pose, where you're putting the sole of your shoe or your foot against the side of that lower leg. We're below the knee. We want to keep pressure off that knee joint. I'm going to come to that in between as I show you those arm options. So bringing a hand to heart center. If you're feeling balanced enough, you could bring both hands to heart center. Remember, finding that non-moving spot, your drizdi, to hold your gaze. Tightening up those muscles in the middle to help you with that balance. Anytime you're balancing, those muscles in your middle help you. That's why we did boat pose, so we could strengthen them. Here's that option, bringing those tree branches up. If you're feeling balanced enough, maybe bringing both hands off the chair. It's quite a balance challenge. Maybe you're ready for bringing those branches up toward the sky. Yes, and smiling and balance don't always go well together. So if you smiled with me and you felt a little unbalanced, that's why. All right, so everybody is going to go back to the chair. We're going to do a wide stance chair pose. If it works best for you, the alternative, because it's like a squat, we're going to pretend to sit down and come back up. So if you need to stay seated, you're going to press your heels into the floor. You're going to squeeze those thigh muscles and pretend you're getting out of the chair, using all your might to squeeze those thigh muscles and press those heels into the floor. And that will help strengthen those muscles so that you can walk and climb stairs and do all of your everyday, and get out of chairs, do all of those everyday activities. So chair arms, so everybody can do this with me seated or standing. We're going to sweep those arms up toward the corner of the ceiling. We can even inhale and exhale those arms down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up and exhale down. Let's add that to that work for the legs. So from the chair, you're squeezing legs. If you're standing, you're going to lift that chest. You're going to bring those hips back. So it's like we're sitting in the chair, weight is in your heels. We're pressing through those heels and coming back to a standing position. Again, we're sitting down, practicing sitting down in the chair, and then we're pressing through those heels and coming up. Let's do that 2 more times. We're bringing those hips back, weight in the heels, pressing through those heels, coming up. And 1 more time, and this time we will have a seat and we'll do a little more chair work, and this is all about some flexibility. So we're going to do some stretching. So these are yoga poses that are traditionally done on a mat. Some of them are standing, some of them are seated on the mat, but we're bringing the floor up to us. So we've got that with our chair seat as our floor. So this is called pyramid pose, and we're doing the seated version. So in traditional yoga, we would stand for this, but this is a great pose to do seated as well, and anytime you need some stretch. So we have got a straight right leg. We're lifting the chest with that good posture, sitting tall. We're hinging at the hip. A reach forward with that same arm will give you a nice stretch in the back of your thigh. You can even bring your toes in towards your nose and feel a deeper stretch down the back of the leg. Relaxing the arm down, we're going to come into seated pigeon, another yoga pose that we would be down on the floor for if we were doing a traditional class, and we make it work wonderfully in the chair. So you're opening up the knee and the hip. If you've had a hip replacement, you want your feet on the floor. Feet can be side by side. Right ankle can be over the left. So from here, the best way to get that stretch is keeping that chest lifted, that back straight, that nice posture. The hinge comes from the hips until you feel a stretch in those muscles you sit on that help move your hips. If a deeper pose is right for you, you're bringing the ankle above the knee onto the to the thigh, the fleshy part of the thigh. So sitting nice and tall here, maybe this is a very deep stretch for you. It's a deep stretch for me. Maybe you can do a little bit of a bow, but you want to keep that chest nice and lifted and those shoulders pulled back. We want to stay out of that forward rounded position that we spend a lot of time in our culture. We're going to move into a seated spinal twist. So let's release our pigeon, and we're going to put the hands on the outer thigh. We're going to press the knees to the left and inhale, maybe even looking over the shoulder of that looking over that right shoulder, and exhale. Let's do those same stretches on the left. We're straightening the leg, we're sitting tall, we're hinging forward at the hip. All the movement is coming from the hip. We're reaching that same arm forward, left arm if you are mirroring me, and maybe you can bring those toes in towards your nose and get a deeper stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Coming into our seated pigeon. So that's our seated pyramid stretch, if you like knowing those yoga names. So we've got those 3 options for seated pigeon. We're trying to bring the hip open here. so the knee is wide. You can have the feet side by side. You can bring the left ankle over the right. And so from here, shoulders back, chest lifted. All the movement comes from the hinge at the hips, feeling the stretch in the back pocket. If the deeper stretch is right for you, you're going to bring the ankle above the knee. Remember, if you've had a hip replacement, those feet stay on the floor. And we're sitting nice and tall. And if you are feeling flexible today, you could keep that back straight and take a little bit of a bow, hinging from the hip. And that is a mighty deep stretch. Let's come into that seated spinal twist. We're going to put the hands on the outside of the thighs. We're sitting tall. We're inhaling, maybe looking over the shoulder. Think of looking up. You're getting ready to back out of your parking space. We're breathing. Inhale and then exhale. We're going to do a stretch for the upper body. That's a fun eagle pose. So different options for stretching that upper back. You can bring the hands together. I'm just going to be in an angle so you can hear me. Lift those elbows, feel that stretch in the inner or upper back. What you can also do is bring the left elbow inside the right elbow and lift. So maybe you can hear me okay. So lifting the elbows, beginning to feel quite a stretch. Possibly even, I want to make sure you can hear me, touching the backs of the hands, maybe even lifting those elbows a bit. Quite a stretch in the upper back. So you choose the stretch that's right for you. Let's release and do the same on the other side. So remember, it is an option for you to press the palms and forearms together, or lower arms, oh my goodness, and lift. And then we are going to bring, I think we did the left inside the right. I'm not sure. I'm going to do the right inside the left. And you can laugh during yoga, it's okay. And then we're lifting the elbows if that feels okay. Possibly, this is a pretty deep stretch, possibly touching the back of the hands and maybe even lifting the elbows. Wow, really getting a nice stretch through that upper back. And release. And we are going to sit back in the chair and enjoy a little neck stretch before we'll relax the muscles before we end our yoga practice. So we're just going to tip the ear toward the shoulder, feeling a nice stretch on the opposite side, respecting your range of movement. Maybe it feels okay to take a look at your shoulder. If tipping the ear to the shoulder feels best, stay there. And possibly deepening the stretch by looking beyond the shoulder to the floor. Different options. There's always some place to go in yoga. We're bringing the chin toward the chest. There's space. We're just looking for a stretch in the back of that neck. And then we're going to stretch on the other side, tipping left ear to left shoulder. Your range of movement, respecting your ability. Feeling good about what you're doing. Maybe looking at the shoulder. You showed up for yourself today, good for you. Maybe looking beyond the shoulder to the floor. Feeling a nice deep stretch wherever you are. And one more time, we'll bring the chin center. I'm leaving space between my chin and my chest, just looking for a stretch in the back of the neck. And let's come back to a neutral spine. So we are going to relax the hands on the lap. We're relaxing the feet on the floor. Maybe you'd like to lower your gaze or even close your eyes so you can focus on relaxation. So let's press the toes into the shoes and then we'll wiggle the toes so we know those feet are relaxed. So we're mindfully contracting and relaxing muscles. We're pressing the heels to the floor, squeezing the lower legs, those muscles contracting, and mindfully relaxing. Squeezing thigh muscles. relax. Squeeze those muscles you sit on and mindfully relax. Squeezing the back against the chair, tightening those muscles in your belly, your abdominal muscles. Squeeze your chest muscles and relax. Let's make a fist. Draw the ears up toward the shoulder and draw those shoulder blades together and squeeze those back muscles. And open that fist, relax those hands, wiggle those fingers. Shoulders are relaxed down, releasing any tension from those neck muscles. And we're allowing the jaw to relax. The facial muscles are softened. And we'll end our yoga practice with a breathing exercise. So we're focusing on breathing in this practice, definitely. So we're going to circle sweep those arms up. Inhale, inflate that belly, fill those lungs with fresh air, bringing the hands together at the top. Exhaling through heart center. Let's do that one more time. We're inhaling, circle sweeping those arms up together. Exhale, drawing that belly back toward the spine, emptying out that stale air. At the end of a yoga class or practice, we say namaste. So we're sharing our joy with each other. Thank you for showing up for yourself today and joining me for this fun twist on yoga, chair yoga. And I hope you enjoyed practicing yoga with me. Have a nice day. Namaste.